This is Surfing Through Cinema. I'm your host, Hawaii Harry. Today, with my brother Hunter, we will be discussing an action film that has inspired many copycats and many sequels, and even speculation for a potential of a remake, which I hope is not true. This is Die Hard. Okay, Hunter.
Yes.
So, Die Hard.
Die Hard. Are we not going to announce that? Well, I don't really care, actually.
Well, how would you like me to...
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, here's what we'll say. I wanted to categorize the two of us.
Yes.
Because for our listeners, the 47 out there, thank you guys. Well, those are 47 views, technically. So, I guess that'll be... That's a month.
Like established 18, maybe.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's
pretty
cool.
good.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because we're doing this just for us. This wasn't...
Yeah, I wasn't doing it
So the fact that, like, even 20 people were like, hey, that's interesting to me.
There was a guy in Italy who even listened to it. That's pretty cool.
You gotta love them Italians. So I wanted to categorize the two of us because what we do in today's modern PC culture is put people into categories.
That's how we label. We label
people. That is what you're supposed to do in a PC culture. That is 100% accurate. I am being sarcastic. Please understand that. Okay. Harrison here. Harry Hawaii.
Hawaii Harry.
Hawaii Harry. I don't... Okay.
It's okay.
You're right. The guru of movie is, in fact, or does, in fact, have a little bit of background he has some formal training. Or I wouldn't necessarily say that. I wouldn't
call it training, but...
Formal study of cinema, okay?
Yeah.
So he is, you could say he's a critic, okay? Or what would you call yourself?
I consider myself a fan who's actively spewing out his opinions.
I like that. Well, I would categorize myself as a couch critic, which sounds... I should get rid of the critic word. A couch something. Because I don't actually care that much, and I don't have any formal study. Cinema couch? There you go. Sitting in a couch. Oh, I like that. Well, there you go, okay? Because I sit in the couch, and then I complain about the movie. So, I just wanted to categorize us, because it's funny, and I like it. And also, then, you don't have to expect anything actually important or world life-changing, perspective enlarging coming from my mouth, because I have no actual training or study under my belt. I just I looked at the screen, I saw the flashing pictures and heard some shouting and dialogue and was like, yes, I enjoyed this, I did not enjoy this, here we go.
Yes.
Anyway,
because what are your interests, Mr. Sitting in a couch?
Sitting in a couch? Well, sitting in a couch for one. Taking long naps, finishing my calculus homework.
Hey.
That's about it.
Hey, everybody's got a hobby.
Everybody's got a hobby. And mine just so happens to be non-existent because I have homework.
Mm-hmm.
I like homework. I like to doodle.
He likes to doodle. Check out his art page. He's actually really good.
I'm not going to plug my art page.
Why not?
I'm thinking about changing
thinking
it
of
up
stopping
a bit.
It? Oh.
Well, just because I'm about to turn 18, and I still have some old work on that, and I don't want to, because right now it says 17, like it says my age. Uh-huh. Once I change that to 18, it'd be really embarrassing to see some of the art I've posted on there next to 18, because you're 18, you should be good at this by now. Mm-hmm. So honestly, I'm thinking about just erasing everything and then starting over, or at least keeping the stuff that I was like, this looks okay. Maybe just change the profile picture. I don't know. I will plug it. No one's ever going to look it up. No one's going to look it up.
Yeah, why not?
I believe this is what it is. Hunts, like HUNTS _ art _ okay.
Yep, that's it.
That's it. Because I was like, what is the most snotty... I didn't want to see... Okay, real quick, I gotta get into this. I don't like when there is a weird culture among high school age students who create art. There's like kids who just do it. There are kids who are really passionate about it, and then there are kids who are passionate about it but don't show it off. And I hate when I find my friend's art account and it says artistic in their name, or like,
and they don't showcase it.
I don't want to call out my friend. I don't freaking care. I'm gonna call her out.
Yeah, do
her
it.
name is. I'm gonna change her name because I don't want it to actually.
Does she have a Snapchat name?
No, her handle is. I'm gonna change it. Painting Prodigy.
Uh-huh.
It's a different medium, but it followed by Prodigy. And my problem with that is it's a little too self-important for my taste. I just don't want to be that like.
Sounds pretty conceited.
It seems a little conceited, and I'm not a fan of that. And a lot of high school art students who have art accounts have like those things in their name, and I'm like, I'm not into that. So that's why I did Hunt's Art. Okay, so it's like it exists. Look at it. Don't look at it. I don't care. Like, okay, that's what I was trying to go for. That like I don't care because, one, I don't care, and two, I care too much about what people think. So I don't want,
It's because you're a feeler. ENFJ.
Is that Myers-Briggs, right?
Yeah, it's Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, okay, whatever. You guys are big on that. You're big on that whole like, oh, you should read this. It defines you. Okay, like you're probably right, and it's usually pretty spot on.
I've gotten the same answer every single time.
I've gotten the same answer every time I've done it. I just mean like when you go, it's like horoscopes. My friends read horoscopes, and they're like, wow, these things totally control my life. Well, this is literally me, and everything exists. Like, well, just wait. Okay. Let me get to the point. Is like, I don't feel like because I'm gonna go against categories real quick because I fit in this category, which is it's just funny. Okay, it is. I fit in this category. All right, I got the ENFJ crap or whatever, and a lot of it is pretty true, and a lot of it I can take some of the advice that it gives, but honestly, it's really good advice for anyone to listen to. But especially for myself, yeah, okay, whatever. But, like, I don't like when someone justifies their actions because of, oh, I'm ENFJ, therefore this. Or, oh, I'm Aquarius, therefore I do this. Or I feel this way all the time because I'm an Aquarius. It's just my nature. I don't necessarily like that because, I mean, I don't know. You can go against your nature. It's okay to do that.
Right.
If it involves, like, if you have to go against your natural person to be polite to someone, okay, do it. I don't like. Yeah. I don't see that. I don't see why that would be an issue. So that's my thought on that.
Well, another thing though is, especially with the astrology stuff, they purposely put in things that apply to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Well, and so that's why people are like, "Oh, that's totally me."
Right.
I mean, could say that.
Just real quick. Yeah. Well,
same with Myers-Briggs. I'm not saying Myers-Briggs isn't that either.
Well, I agree. I agree with that. My thought on that too is I've been trying to put. So my friends are really big on this stuff. They brought a book to school the other day. My one friend, she's really cool. They're cool. I like them a lot. They're in my art class and we hang out. But she brought out her book and was reading about Pisces because I'm a Pisces, and there's a lot that I relate to. Yeah, I'm a Pisces. There's a lot that I related to, and I was like, yeah, okay, that I can see that in my life. There's a lot I did not relate to at all. But when we looked at some of the other people or some of the other things, I couldn't necessarily put myself in those. Like she's a Taurus, and she was reading about. I'm pretty sure. Whoa, I hope I don't get that wrong. Well, she'll never listen to this. Whatever. She's a Taurus.
She's a Sagittarius.
She's Seabiscuit. And we.
Where did that go?
I don't know. It's a horse name. Aquarius, Taurus, Sagittarius, Secretariat.
Think of a Leo. Whatever the lion one is.
Yes.
Leo the Lion.
Leo the Lion.
Like MGM. Hey, speaking of MGM, that's a movie company.
Did they do Die Hard? I wasn't paying attention. No, it was 21st Century Fox.
Yeah, it was Fox.
Maybe.
So
I think I was paying
Disney
attention.
owns it now.
And then there's going to be a remake.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Interesting.
So Will.
I guess I'm not going to get to the point, but it doesn't matter. Whatever. It's too big of a tangent.
Let's talk about Die Hard now.
Yeah, let's get to the meat.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
And tomatoes. Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay.
The meat and tater tots.
So some technical details about Die Hard. Released July 20th of 1988.
Mm-hmm.
So, isn't that strange, though? Because the movie takes place during Christmas time.
Right.
And they released it in July.
That's weird. Because people, well, there is the question, is it a Christmas movie?
Yes.
It takes place during Christmas.
Uh-huh.
At the end of the movie, they get heartwarming and they play some Christmas music. So if that is what defines a Christmas movie, then yes. But it isn't released during the holiday season, where
right.
other Christmas movies who are targeting that time of year do release during Christmas. So like
true, like Thanksgiving, Christmas
era, like that area, that region. Yeah, okay. That is where Christmas movies live.
I guess
Star Wars is a Christmas. No, okay.
Well, they used to be released in May, though.
Yeah, and then they moved to December because they wanted the. I assume it's just because they get a larger audience over the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
But
the marketing thing.
Yeah, but also there are still Christmas movies, and they only come out in December. So that's why I get a little confused on whether it's a Christmas movie because it was released in
July.
Yeah. That's weird. We should release a summer flick.
About Christmas.
In December. Like in the middle of winter. Release a flick about getting out of school and hanging out with your friends. That's just weird. It doesn't.
Well, that kind of is what you do with Christmas, though. It's got to be like...
You get out of school, yeah, but not for summer break. For Christmas break.
Still a break.
Who knew they celebrated Christmas in Japan?
I love that line.
That's a funny line. I like his response. That's the good... I don't remember it. It was
It was something to the lines of, well, we figure we didn't get you at Pearl Harbor, so then we sent in the
8-track or the 8-track, something like that. In reference to like big tech.
Yes.
That's clever. I like
Sony, because
Sony, yeah.
Sony's from Japan.
Yeah, that's funny.
And you got the Walkman, like all those things. Yeah. So, that's...
Shout out
to Sony.
No, there's a song called Walkman. Tiny Meat Gang.
Oh my goodness.
Not that I listen to it because they're sometimes a little... it swears a lot, but I enjoy it.
Okay.
Good.
What about you? What are your first technical details?
So I always forget when I'm writing for technical details that it's supposed to be technical details and not just opinion.
If you could somehow intertwine them, go for it.
Honestly, so it's not obvious. I guess by today's standards, it's not breaking new ground. And probably not by those standards either. It was probably pretty average. But the editing and cinematography in this movie are really interesting to me. Like, I liked some of the stuff that they did. I liked the long shot in the beginning. I thought that was kind of fun. Like, it wasn't trying to stand out. It was just there, obviously, because they're building that groundwork. But, like, I enjoyed the editing in this. Just little small things that I thought were kind of cool. Like, a little light flicker that came from an elevator and then a cut that, like, to the next scene. But that was important to see, whatever. There's just stuff that I enjoyed out of that.
Yeah.
Especially to leading to tension in this movie. My favorite... I like how it's a good 80s movie, and something great about 80s movies is they always keep up the tension.
Yes.
Like, they're really good at it. Like, I was just talking about this with our father a little bit ago, but Back to the Future keeps the tension so well in all the action scenes. Like you don't get bored. I feel like some action movies now are a little too over the top. Well, I guess part of it is if you're trying to keep a little bit of realism, then that tension has a place. But some of our movies, Fast and Furious series, franchise, but when you get to the point where these gods drive around crashing through skyscrapers and whatever, and it just it gets so unrealistic that the tension kind of fades away.
It's almost
especially
comical.
By movie number 9, right? This is the one's the 9th one, right? Or
yeah,
the 10th?
They're doing a 9th
something like that
one now.
So, like, to me, that kind of you're just in awe because the CG spectacle is so crazy and what they're doing is so crazy, oddball out there, but it relates more to seeing Super Crazy Oddball and Sharknado than it does Super Crazy Oddball because you're so worried for the characters.
Right.
You're not really afraid. You don't really feel that tension. And so this movie, I feel like, because of the editing and obviously just because of how they wrote a lot of these scenes, the tension was just...
Ooh, it's insane.
Wonderful. It felt so good.
Like the part where the business guy was trying to talk to Hans into like
and
making a deal.
He kept grinning at him and like, but you know, as the viewer, that this guy's just a dummy. Yeah, like I loved that. I loved the most tense part, obviously, when he's going down the shaft and his gun is holding him up. Like, what got me was like, okay, I knew he was gonna catch the ledge, right? But he doesn't catch the first ledge, he catches the second one.
Right,
and,
he like
a problem with tension, obviously, is like, this is the hero, he's not gonna die, or he might get hurt, but it's not gonna be the end of it, right?
Right.
So you're expecting that, but it still got me missing the first one and getting the second one. Like, they were still able to surprise you, even though you know for a fact the hero is not gonna get hurt.
Right.
This isn't that movie, and we're also only 20 minutes into it, so like, as a viewer, you know, there's nothing gonna happen. But they're also still good enough to put in little things like that.
Yeah.
That you're like, holy crap, I knew he's fine, but holy crap, like...
Like, they even had the camera at the one he slipped off of, so it looked like that was the one he was going to land on.
Right, exactly. Like, we were totally prepared for him to catch that one, and he misses it. So I guess we fell for their trick, and I loved that. Because the whole time I was like, I don't need to feel tense in this situation. I know what's going to happen. He's going to get in the shaft, and we're going to see that iconic image. Well, hang on, a little more excitement, and then, okay, the iconic image comes up, whatever. But, yeah, so that's my technical detail.
Sure.
Just an opinion.
So, my next one was, I mean, this is kind of obvious because it's Hollywood, but it was legit filmed in Los Angeles, like, in a skyscraper.
Yeah, it was.
Like, a bunch of buildings.
Yeah.
They didn't, like, build a whole set or anything. Like, they used... Well, they did have a model for, like, the exterior helicopter type of shots.
Right.
But most of the time, it was a real building.
Is it a real building?
Yeah. I'd have to check IMDb again, but you can visit a lot of it. Like, they're real sites you can
cool.
check out. I think it's a real business right now, even.
Yeah. Do they do tours? Milk that cow?
Oh.
Or is it after 6 movies, people were like, we don't really care anymore?
Yeah. Well, that actually is a point I wanted to bring up. The problem with the sequels is they get into that realm where Fast and Furious is like too cool and impossible to fathom.
Right. I mean, I haven't seen the first Fast and Furious in a long time, but if I went back and watched it, it's honestly, it's probably good. Like, it probably wasn't.
I mean, there has to be a reason why. There has to be a reason why they made so many sequels.
Let me preface: an enjoyable commercial pile of trash. I hate the movies, but I love to watch them because there's a lot of spectacle there.
Are you sure it's not for any other reasons?
I like the cars, okay, not the women.
I really like the cars.
Actually, that's my problem with Transformers, but whatever. We'll move on from that. My deep-seated... Oh, man. I don't enjoy it. What's his name? The director of Transformers.
Oh, Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. I don't enjoy his treatment of, well, attractive individuals. Male, female, vehicle. male, female, frick, what are they called?
Well, actually...
Decepticon.
Yeah. Well, he always uses, like, Mustangs, Chargers, like...
Everything is sexualized.
Yeah.
The robots are literally sexualized.
They're the best of the best cause.
Yes. Anyway, yeah, those are my beans.
Those are the technical details, alright. Well, let's talk about the plot. We don't necessarily have to rehash it, because we want people to watch it.
Right.
But a point I really liked...
If they haven't by now, like myself.
Yes.
Tell just now.
But a point I really like about this plot is it takes time to introduce all the characters. Mm-hmm. And then, like, it sets the stage, and then, boom, it starts going.
And then it starts, right. That is another thing that I really appreciate about this movie, is the groundwork. It takes up a lot of time, but you're not bored during the groundwork, but they set it up. They spend time showing you how the characters are going to break down, what's going on, how he's planning, and how these bad guys are planning, and like it's an enjoyable introduction. One thing I will say, the beginning of the movie, something I kind of thought like something interesting about John's character, or not interesting, but like a relation is, you haven't seen it yet, but the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah.
Watch it, please. Did you watch it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Watch it. Okay.
Okay. It's on my watch history from you.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for the Netflix login, buddy. But
I told you to sign out of it.
Nope. What I was gonna say. In the beginning of Die Hard, John's character, that kind of reserved, quiet, uncomfortable kind of person that he's like totally kind of in charge. Like, he's not outspoken, but he knows what's going on. And he's very short, but he gets his point across pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't know, he's just like short and quiet, and like when he's like looking around and analyzing what's around him, especially in the setup of him counting and getting things like that, I was like, dang, I feel like Ryan Gosling's character is very similar to this. Obviously not the same. And I can't
same
really...
type of movie, but...
I can't really get into it because I haven't seen the freaking movie yet. But like the way his character acted in the beginning was super similar to how Ryan Gosling's character acts. But the difference would be John kind of becomes that action hero by the end of the movie. Ryan Gosling's character stays in this world of quiet, uncomfortable, kind of off. And I honestly wonder if they were kind of writing him to be like autistic or something, which would be super interesting too. But like just the way he saw the world, or at least just so into his mind and so into like I don't know, just like he's so much practical that like he's a little bit like not abrasive in the sense of like loud and aggressive and whatever, but just a little bit off-putting. But in Driver, he's such an attractive character. Like, even though he has those traits, you so badly want to keep watching and seeing what happens with him. And in this movie, I was like, that's weird. He's like, it reminded me of that a lot. And then it totally changed, and he becomes the action hero. And in Drive, he changes a little bit, but not to the same extent.
Yeah. Well, even in this movie, like, Bruce Willis isn't like supposed to look like a super big
he's
Arnold
not
Schwarzenegger guy. He looks like an average. Well, he's a cop.
He's a street cop, yeah.
But he looks like an average dude.
Yeah, who when he takes his shirt off doesn't have a beer belly, but
yeah, that
because the average dude has a pot belly. But no, but I liked how there was some realism in his character. Obviously, towards the end of the movie, it gets a little exciting. But it's an action movie from the 80s, so like, what are you gonna expect?
You had to have some cheese in it.
Right. So, but I did like the groundwork in the beginning, obviously. It was good. It was like slow. It took its time a little bit.
Yeah. So that's my point.
Yeah.
What's your point?
We're talking about plot? Okay, well, let's think about the middle of the movie. It was enjoyable. Next.
Yeah.
I don't know. The plot of this movie goes as follows. Rising action, climax, falling action, resolution.
Sure. Yeah. I really like...
As in, I don't have anything to say about the plot, so I'm just being a jerk. Well, I don't know why I said that.
Okay, well, what I like about this is when the film ends, not only does it have redemption for Al, but also has redemption for John. So, like, it's multiple people get redeemed by the end of it.
I think it would be, you'd say that the other way around.
I meant to say
not only does it have redemption for John, we saw redemption for Al.
Right, that's what I meant to say.
I have some... I don't know how I feel about the ending, so we might want to save that for...
you want to save that for
my views.
Okay.
But, yeah, I did like that. They had a little redemptive moment for him. They had a redemptive moment for Al. They had a little moment for the wife.
Yes.
She gets to punch the guy.
The newscaster.
So you got to see a lot of that, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
What is your final point on plot?
That was it.
All right.
that was the final
point. Sweet.
So let's talk about the popular opinion. So we kind of touched into it earlier, but Die Hard, some people consider it not a Christmas movie because it wasn't released during Christmas time.
And I think that's a valid argument.
It's a valid argument, but
it's also a Christmas movie. And I mean, the first Christmas song you hear is by Run DMC, right?
Right.
And then it ends with Christmas music. Therefore, it is a Christmas movie.
And when the safe finally opens, it's playing that famous Christmas ballad from, I think, Nutcracker.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a Christmas song.
Yeah. Because
it only has
is it a Christmas song because it takes place in December at a Christmas party? Or is it a Christmas song because it's a Christmas movie? What defines a Christmas movie? I'd say the reason why I think it's not a Christmas movie, but then Al and his whole talky speech, no, because that's a characteristic of just a story in general. The kind of moral, emotional, growth, right? And that's why we had Al. Al had to give John that opportunity, right? Right. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The opportunity to look back and see himself and how he's acting. Anyway, but a Christmas movie, there has to be something going on.
Well, what about It's a Wonderful Life? He kind of gets redeemed by the end of it.
It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas movie.
For part of it. Majority of it is the life of George Bailey that isn't Christmas.
Because,
but still, people still watch it during Christmas.
A Christmas Carol does the same thing. It looks at his life. And it's not all during December. Or is it? It might all be during December at different points in his life.
Because all the ghosts say Ghost of Christmas Past, Ghost of Christmas Future.
Okay, you might be correct. I might be an idiot. I don't know. I guess. But I still think there's a moral that Christmas stories try and teach you that this movie doesn't have. There is always that angle about family, about Christmas, the season, about giving, or about Santa Claus learning that he loves his family, and Tim Allen, and I hate those movies.
Well, you don't like the Santa Claus movie?
I hate that there's 3 of them.
I know. I hate that it's considered a series.
I hate that it's considered a Christmas movie. It shouldn't be on the list.
I hate that those are the only movies that play on Freeform. For their 25 Days of Christmas, they play those ones all the time.
Yuck.
And then it's called Freeform. Why is it called Freeform?
I don't know. Because families aren't one form. They are free forms.
But ABC Family. What was wrong with that?
Families aren't one form. They're free form.
Families aren't as simple as ABC. They're free form.
Exactly. Okay. Well, something that kind of throws a wrench into what I was going to say is people watch A Nightmare Before Christmas during Halloween, and they say it's a Halloween movie. True. I full-heartedly disagree, and I will freaking fight you to the death over that, okay? It's not a Halloween movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie. It's literally called Nightmare Before Christmas. It's all about Christmas. It doesn't even take place in October. Well, or does it? Does it start in October?
The beginning it does, but Halloween's over. And Jack happens upon those trees, and he's like,
right, and he sees the different worlds.
He's like, whoa, what's this?
The different.
And he literally has a song called, "What's this?" I wasn't trying to do that.
Well, but that's my point. So, do we watch Die Hard at any time of the year? Someone would argue, you could watch A Nightmare Before Christmas at any time of the year, or at 2 specific times of the year, or do we watch Die Hard during the Christmas season? Because Die Hard would not be my go-to movie during the Christmas season. The way I see it, someone wanted to write an action movie. Well, it's based off of a book, but the way I see it, it flows so well, obviously, because it's what it is, as an action film, that it's not in the same place as a Christmas movie.
Right.
It takes place in December, so I will argue it's a Christmas movie and watch it in December now every year because I like the movie a lot. I will say that. I loved this movie. It was great. I'm not going to watch it every December, but most Decembers.
I think it's good to watch any time of the year, but it is definitely a Christmas movie.
I'm trying to formulate my thought on this. I don't know how to respond because, well, what am I trying to say? I don't know, dude. It's not a Christmas movie.
Okay.
It has Christmas sentiment, but it doesn't have a Christmas heart. Think of a Christmas movie. Think of an actual, real... The Grinch is a Christmas movie, okay? When you watch The Grinch...
Yeah, his heart gets bigger.
And you come away with that moral, that message about love, about spirit, about family and community service, whatever. That is characteristic of a Christmas movie.
But...
When you watch Die Hard... I guess the Christmas spirit is everybody got justice at the end. You could say that, but it's not a Christmas movie. It just takes place during Christmas.
But John ended up back with his wife.
But it's also an 80s action film, so that's going to happen.
I guess.
I don't know.
Because isn't the moral for John that supporting family is more important than your own life? Well, because he was in New York and couldn't give up his job, whereas his wife left.
And he also didn't think highly of how she's going to do in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
New York to L.A. I get that they live in New York and they live in L.A., but writers and producers and whatever really just love to write about New York and L.A. And it makes sense. I was listening to a podcast today. This is why I didn't get any of my homework done this morning. I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about how easy it is. Should I admit to listening to it? It was Impulsive with Logan Paul.
Oh, no.
I mean, people hate on him a lot, and people don't hate him on a lot, and I fit the category of not hating on him. He's honestly pretty entertaining as this new persona he's created. Obviously, his vlogs still come out, and they're still obviously, like, fabricated, but that's all of them. That's the whole point. It's content. It's not real life. But True. Anyway, listening to his podcast, they were kind of talking about with Wallace. What's his name? Frick. Something Wallace. Terrence Wallace? Whatever.
William Wallace?
I think it's Terrence Wallace. He's another guy that I follow on Instagram who's cool and funny. Anyway, comedian.
I'm surprised you didn't get my Braveheart reference.
I haven't seen Braveheart, dude. Hey, we should do Braveheart.
It's on the list.
Yes. Okay, if I'm still here. But
I don't think
Trevor Wallace, did I say that?
That's I don't know what you
Whatever.
said.
Anyway, they were talking about how they just had made mention to how easy it is to live in LA and make content about LA that's like LA centric. Yeah. Whereas you're not making like you're not reaching that wider audience. It's kind of niche to LA, to New York people, to people who would understand that. And so like it's the same with directors and producers living in LA and living in New York. They write about LA and New York all the freaking time. I don't care. Even though I live fairly close to Los Angeles.
Yeah, don't tell people where.
No, I'm not saying where. But like, gosh, freaking dang it. I just don't care, dude. I don't care about LA. Actually, I do. I enjoy some stories about LA. But also I enjoy stories that aren't about LA because I don't care.
Yeah, we need stories about Fargo, North Dakota. Or is it South Dakota?
I thought it was Wisconsin. I thought it was no.
I think it's South
I thought it was
Dakota.
Minnesota.
No, that's where Twin Cities is. The movie. That's beside the point. Okay. That's for another time. Anywho.
We're getting really distracted, but
so
Die Hard.
So, there's another popular opinion about Die Hard. It's the best action movie of all time. Do you agree with that? It's a very bold statement.
Yeah. It's an action movie. Is it the best of all time? No, because the ending. I think it's the perfect action movie. It's not the best action movie of all time, but it's the perfect action movie. Because it is 100% true to itself as an action film. Mm-hmm. It hits every single plot point exactly as an action film should. Right. So I'll say that. But is it the best of all time? I haven't seen enough movies to say that.
Yeah. I think it's the best action movie that's relatable and realistic. Mm-hmm. Because most other action movies that I think are better, like what's it called? Like Rambo and all of those. Those kind of delve into the not reality. Not reality,
Mm-hmm.
is that a thing?
You know, expendable Rambo. Really you know, expendable. That's an action movie trope, dude. That emotional thing.
Yeah.
We saw that with Al here.
Grown men crying.
Yes. Hey, that's good. Grown men can cry. Also, grown men can suck it up. I'm a proponent for both.
Yes.
But that's just me. What's your thought on that?
I don't think it's the best one of all time. Like I said, I think it's just the best in that specific type of one, action movie. Because, like, there's a whole slew of copycats. Paul Blart Mall Cop, for example.
Oh my goodness.
Literally, the plot is exactly the same.
I love that. But that was on purpose. That's not like, I mean...
No, it wasn't.
And I'm not saying that was on purpose, as in, wow, if you don't see that. No, I'm pretty sure they were like, let's do another Die Hard. And then someone was like, all right. Or someone pitched something kind of like Mall Cop, and then they were like, okay.
Well, people like Die Hard, so maybe people will watch this because it's like Die Hard. I don't know.
Well, is it like a secret parody of action films? Or is it pretty apparent? I don't really remember it that well. I mean, I remember
I've seen it too many times.
I remember that he runs over a dog.
I remember he has a Segway.
Yeah. He doesn't have a gun. Bro. So that's your... Well, then what is the perfect action movie? Or, I mean, not the perfect. The greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
Lord of the Rings. No, just kidding. No, I wouldn't call those action movies.
The only ones I think I would consider, because I don't have one, to be honest. I don't have one that I would consider it. But I feel like the ones that are realistic, like war movies or the characters are relatable.
Those aren't action movies. Those are...
I know, they're their own category, but kind of that level.
Okay.
Because you got ones like Commando... Where you just...
That's
it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah. Yes. Stick around.
No, that's Predator. But
that's Predator. Well then,
let off some
steam. Yes, yeah.
And he's like fighting the Green Beret guy. He's like, I'm a Green Beret. He's like, I eat Green Berets for breakfast.
But that's an action movie, so I don't get what you're trying to say.
The point I'm trying to get at is the best action movies aren't the stupid ones like the Arnie ones.
Okay.
The best ones are like Die Hard.
Yeah, I was like, drop a name. Die Hard. There you go. So it is the best of all time. You heard it here. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't have an opinion of it because, like you said, I haven't seen enough to make a fair comparison.
Right. Well, I don't watch enough movies like this anymore because recently I've just been getting kind of bored with them. Except for this lit the fire under me to be like, I enjoy this formula. I see why it's successful.
Well, I have the sequels if you want to watch them.
No. I honestly, okay, Rambo, I'll watch the sequels up to 3. I don't really care for the rest.
Well, you don't want to see Last Blood?
No, that's so dumb. What I hate is when you look at the quality, it totally looks like
Logan.
No. When you look at the cinematography and the light, like the way they edit it, it looks like Jason Segal's movies that he puts out right now.
Yeah.
So yes, when I see that and compare that to 80s Rambo, I'm like, dog, this is not the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like, at least they were trying there.
Even the first Rambo movie was like Die Hard, like more emotional and not cheese fest.
Cheese fest. Well, yeah. That's kind of the problem with those sequels anyway, of action movies. Mm-hmm. They do the Commando thing Commando starts off cheese, but...
That one is cheese. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, that one's Swiss. These ones...
No, it's Austrian.
Austrian. Oh, where are the Alps near Austria?
Yeah, the Swiss Alps are... Anywho...
Let's move on to the...
hills are alive, the sound of Schwarzenegger. Okay.
Be careful when you say his name.
Yes, please be careful with that. Okay. Any other opinions that are popular you want to discuss?
I don't know. No. Here's an opinion. Here's my opinion. So not the opinions that are popular. This movie has the only acceptable use of Dutch angles.
Yes.
In that one action scene, I mean, there might be more. I don't really remember, but in that scene, I was like, whatever. I don't care. I'll accept that. This isn't whatever that freaking movie is. The the Scientology movie.
Oh, Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth.
Dutch angles galore.
Yes. So like this one, I was like, it fits. We're showing off his feet too much, which at first I was like, they're showing his feet too much, and then, oh, shoot the glass. So I was like, okay, I get it, but still too much. But that's kind of more of an action thing anyway.
Yeah, they like to set up with little things like, oh, here's a nice watch. Oh, glass. Oh.
Yeah. Well, that setup is kind of with any story. You have your true. 2 hours, so I'm only going to say things that are going to happen in the story. So I'm not going to bring up the watch unless they were trying to do something more. Like, if you bring up the watch, either you're making tension between her and the boss guy who gave her the watch because you want tension in their relationship, or it's going to be used to get justice against that loser boss in the sense that, hey, getting rid of this watch relieved you of the literal bad guy of this movie. So I thought that was kind of funny that, like, the gift that the backstabber had given them was holding them back and then released and whatever. That's kind of funny.
That is kind of funny. I didn't think about that. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Irony.
Yes.
Backstabber.
We're learning about irony right now in school.
I think that it's called Pavlov's gun or something like that.
Right.
Where if there's a gun in the room...
There's a gun in the room, has to go off by the end scene, whatever.
Right.
Yes, everybody.
Action movies do that a lot.
Yes.
Tons of.
Okay, well, your views, Harrison.
Okay.
Let's hear it, Mr. Hawaii.
Oh, thank you. I kind of talked about it earlier, but I really love how it isn't constant action. Like, it likes to take its time, give the sad moments, happy moments. Mm-hmm. It shows a wide range of emotions with all the characters. Mm-hmm. So it's not just focused on the action part. And that kind of adds on to the tension as well.
Yeah.
You know, like that moment when John is talking with Al about how Al's now a desk officer because of his experience in the past.
I did not hear the
You didn't like that redemption.
No. I wasn't listening to you.
Oh.
I got distracted. I thought I had my phone off. And then it went off.
No phones on set. Mine's right there. So
I threw it across the room.
Basically, I was just saying how I love how it's not just action, but it also has heartfelt moments.
Well, and I think that's kind of what separates Jason Segal's movies. No, it's what separates Commando from like an actual. Well, it separates it from
Rambo.
An action film that is going to experience longevity, like Die Hard. Like this one, it honestly is kind of timeless. Like, if you release... Yeah. But I think that's kind of just because it's an action movie, so it has that structure. So it doesn't matter when it's released, it has that structure. It's going to keep performing and doing what it does. There's some things that I think are a little dated, just like... Because they were then overused in all these freaking copies and sequels and history, whatever. But, right. That the heart moments are important because it makes your movie less freaking dumb. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a great action movie.
Die Hard.
Patriot Games.
It is.
I just thought of that because I saw Clear and Present Danger on your desk.
You saw the...
Oh my gosh, that... Okay, honestly... Wait, is Patriot Games the first one?
Yes, it's the first one with Harrison Ford.
That's on my list of, like, my all-time favorite movies. Anyway, tangent. That's nothing to do with this.
Another point I want to make is that John isn't perfect. He always makes not always, but he makes mistakes, and
yeah. Well, they do really well humanizing him. Mm-hmm. The little quirky jokes even aren't over the top.
Yeah, like they stick around.
So, I've never actually heard the surprise mother effer line without it, or Yippee-ki-yay. Well, I don't know what the other one is. Surprise. That's from a Vine. That's a Vine. But,
good grief.
Oh my gosh, my brain is just freaking
Some fries.
I don't know. Destroyed from media. But the yippee-ki-yay, that line, I've never heard it unedited until now because I just watched it. But like it fits so well. And also it wasn't at all like I thought it was he says that and then something explodes.
Right.
Like because that's how we see it now. Whenever someone says something like that, it's always that little quirky Spider-Man line and then something crazy happens. But no, it's literally he's like getting out of the room. He's like they're coming in and he like I actually enjoyed that line even though he could have said Mamma Jamma or something, but whatever.
But it fits in with it.
Well, it fits.
Well, you know why, right? So
he was responding to the cowboy comment.
Right. Cuz Roy Rogers, that's his saying is yippee-ki-yay.
Oh. I thought he was saying called him a cowboy.
He's the cowboy.
Well, it just like that, something like that, it just like it wasn't needless and it felt more human, more real. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's cool.
Now,
I see why that's like super quoted.
The sad part about that line though is in all the other ones they use it again.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, something crazy happens afterward.
Because it turned into that.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. I'm not watching the other ones. I'm just not going to. I don't have the attention span for it. So something funny I thought. It's so the corporation Nakatomi or Nakatomi. So I was thinking all the people who came out, if they don't get like some sort of monetary like assistance because of this experience, they could be like, that company was not good to me.
Oh my gosh. No, that was
so dumb.
Not good. That's not a good joke.
Nakatomi. I love stupid pun. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Oh man.
Yeah.
Any other views you want to throw out there?
The ending ruined the movie.
The ending?
The ending ruined the movie for me.
You didn't like the nice send-off? I
love this movie. This is such a good movie. But honestly, I'm a little conflicted. Al's redemption wasn't needed. Well, okay, it ended like an action movie. So I guess that was my problem. Is like you had experienced this somewhat realism to action movie, and I kind of wanted the resolution to go back to that little realism feeling, which it didn't at all. It went for that canned, corny action movie. They drive away at the end. They're not sitting there to talk to the police, and the police are completely unrealistic and bumbling, and they get angry at the wrong thing. Like when he doesn't want to talk to him in the building. Oh, that is so dumb. Like that's not how they would handle it at all, because that would distract too much from our action hero. Because it's an action movie, he is the hero. He's the good guy. So even the FBI, they have to be totally dumb and wrong and unrealistic. And so like I feel like it went at the end in the ending, and I think that's just because he had to meet all these unrealistic characters. It just dipped a little too much into that fantasy world for me. The guy gets up off the ground with the gun all of a sudden at the end of the movie, and he shoots him, whatever. Okay, yeah. I know, I get it. I get it for the action movie, but now that to me was like, this is why I don't watch action movies very much. Because, like, modern action movies have too much of this fake. Like, this movie balanced it. Okay, I'll make that argument, okay?
There you go.
There's a balance. It's only at the ending that it really got to me, but it's still... It's acceptable. Modern movies will take that weird freaking crap and put it through the entire movie. Or not like modern movies. Not modern movies. Sequels to series movies.
Do you remember watching the 7th one? When they were like... Well, you said earlier,
driving through the freaking...
Not just one, like 3
multiple
or 4.
Cars going,
3 or 4 different ones.
Anyway. So, I did feel like the ending kind of got at me a little bit. I was like, okay, whatever. And then obviously she's going to punch the guy. But I wonder, was that a trope even then? For her to punch the stereotypical newsacre who's doing anything to get the story.
I don't know. I just know in that instance it works because she's like, because of this guy, I almost died.
Right. I wonder. That's weird.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, like, all of these characters are very tropey, but it's an action movie, so, like, I can't. It doesn't matter. That's the whole point. The reason why action movies are all the way they are is because you figured out something that is the same. Like, it's the same universally, but, like, that's because it's successful. So yes. Okay, I'll move on from that. That is my ending opinion. I don't think I have any other little tidbits.
Okay.
No.
Well, I don't really either. But I'm glad I watched it. I think it is a good example of an action movie.
Yeah.
You know, the way I do this is I theme every week. And so this is the first in my series of action movies that I'll be reviewing.
Yeah, that's a good way to start it.
I think this was a good one to start off with. All right. Well, next time we'll discuss the next film for Star Wars Week.
Ooh.
And you know what that is? Yeah. My favorite one.
Yes.
Attack of the Clones.
Oh yeah, baby. The best
It's going to be great.
I like the animals.
So make sure to watch it on your Disney Plus or DVD, VHS, whatever you have for
in preparation. Because I know I will be. All right. Well,
thanks for being here, Hunter. Appreciate it.
Of course.
The sitting in the couch.
Yes.
View that you have.
Yes. Potato perspective.
Yes.
My couch potato perspective.
Okay, well, until next time, this has been Surfing Through Cinema with your host, Hawaii Harry. Take care. Thank you for listening to Surfing Through Cinema. Make sure to check us out on Facebook at Surfing Through Cinema with Hawaii Harry and on Instagram with Surfing Through Cinema. We also have a website, www.anchor.fm/Surfing Through Cinema, where you can learn more details on upcoming episodes and on past episodes.